everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. Today I'm really excited to be doing a collaboration video for the first time with a couple booktubers, Bookmarked by Jenn and Bestie Book Reviews. We're going to be doing this collaboration to give you guys our top book boyfriends. We thought that'd be a first fun one to do and just each of us kind of give a list. I'm not sure how many the other ladies are going to do. I tried to narrow mine down, but I think I have like 10, but we'll see how long this video will go in case I do talk about them too long, because I do tend to love to gush about my book boyfriends. But these are going to be my top book boyfriends, and I will link the other ladies' videos down below, so please make sure to check them out. But let's just dive right in so that I don't make this video too long. So the first one that I want to give is my favorite book from last year, 2022. And he became major top book boyfriend for me. Now, these aren't all in particular order or anything, but this one is probably one of my tops. And that is going to be Cade from Heartless. I know you guys are probably tired of me talking about this book, but it was my favorite book from last year. And Cade just he stole my heart. I love Cade so much. This book has everything I want in a book. And Cade is alpha, grumpy, man's man, but dotes and takes care of his woman. He is the dream man. So in this book, you have Cade and Willa, and Cade is a single dad. He's a hardworking man. It's an age gap. And he needs help watching somebody taking care of his son while he's taking care of the farm and everything. So this is southern, well, not southern because it's in Canada, but cowboy, romance. And Cade has always done everything for the family. He's the one that's made the sacrifices. Didn't really get to do what he fully wanted to do because he was basically taking care of their ranch. And he also had gotten married to this woman who they had a kid. She kind of just left the kid with him, didn't really want to take responsibility. So he's this amazing father. He's a single dad, and he's got the weight of the world of the ranch on his shoulders. And then in walks Willa, who is the best friend of the girl from the first book in this series, and she's gonna help watch his son. He thinks she has experience. She really has no experience. She's kind of flighty, doesn't really know what she wants to do, doesn't have a set career path. She's kind of chaotic, and she comes into the picture, and his son falls for her so fast because he's kind of no, they had an interaction that was super sexy and funny, meet cute. And then when he finds out that's the same girl that's going to be watching his son, he doesn't want it because he's extremely attracted to her. So, but he does because his son falls for her, and Willa is just this, beautiful ray of sunshine, and she brings so much into his life. And they can't fight their feelings for each other. She's living with him as the nanny kind of thing. And so it's forced proximity, grumpy sunshine, age gap. Cade is everything. Once they finally do succumb and get together and are having sex and everything, Cade is a dirty talker, and I love a dirty talker. He's dominant, he's dirty talker, but he also dotes on her and wants her to do whatever she wants. If she doesn't want to work, he wants to take care of her. He's just amazing. Cade will always be a top book boyfriend for me, and if you haven't read this book yet, please read it. It is hyped, but it's worth the hype. It's a 6-star book for me, and Cade is the best book boyfriend. So then the next one that I have is always going to be on my book boyfriend list, and I've talked about this book before, but I mean, Reily from Sophie Lark's Broken Vow. And I gotta say, I know I've probably said this in a video before, but this is the hottest cover model I think I've ever seen. That I actually imagine Reily as this actor or model. He's just hot AF. So Gorgeous. I'm so glad I got the covers with the guys on it because now they're all illustrated, which is fine, but I love these more. But Raylan is a cowboy, kind of. He grew up on a ranch cowboy lifestyle, but he also was in the military, kind of like special ops. And he gets brought into this mafia family. We have Riona Griffin, and she is part of the Irish mafia, but she is being attacked and almost killed. Somebody's trying to kill her. And so Raylan is actually friends with Dante, who's in one of the previous books. And he's Dante Gallo, which is the other, Italian mafia family that is, aligned with the Griffins because of the marriage and everything. And so he actually brings Raylan in to help so that he can kind of be a bodyguard, kind of keep an eye on Riona. And this is another grumpy sunshine, but the grumpy is Riona. And Raylan is just he's so dreamy. He's hot. He's a badass. He's, can protect her, but he's also this sunshine, bubbly, beautiful personality. And he doesn't care that Riona's like irritated. He's breaking down her walls. And that's what I love about him. He's there for it, but he's very protective, very dominant and alpha, which I love in my men. And the best part is when he has to take Riona out to his ranch to kind of go into hiding to protect her. And I absolutely love that dynamic because Riona is like this badass attorney, she's a hard ass, and Raylan just gives it to her. And let me just tell you, the barn scene it's amazing. So Raylan will always be in my list. I love him so much. It's funny, I got two kind of cowboy types, and I didn't really think I'd have those kind of book boyfriends on my list, but I love them. Okay, so the next one I want to put on my list is Christian Harper from Twisted Lies. I just read this book pretty recently, a few months ago, I believe, and I just fell in love with him. He is one of my favorite heroes I've ever read. He is a billionaire. He's a genius. He's got like a security company, and he's super alpha and dominant and just amazing. I do apologize if you can see my ring light on here because this is a shiny cover. But in this, you have a fake dating billionaire romance. He's like obsessed with this girl. He like loves her. He's been obsessed with her for a while, and he offers her a place in his building before and like lets her live there for cheaper, and she just waters his plants to be able to live there. And really he's just bending over backwards so that she can stay in his building. And he's been kind of keeping an eye on her, kind of stalking a little bit, you would think, but she needs a fake boyfriend. She is going to, she's a social media like influencer, and so she needs to up her followers, and so she wanted to do a fake boyfriend because a lot of those influencers are getting more traction with if they have like a boyfriend. So he offers to do the fake dating thing, but she needs to go to like events with him and all that kind of stuff. But there is an actual stalker after her. Her having this fake boyfriend, he thinks it's real, and it kind of brings this stalker that's been kind of silent for a couple years back into the picture. And Christian is so possessive and protective, and let me tell you, touch her and you die. That is Christian freaking Harper. And he I'm gonna put this down just in case it's shining, but he does anything to protect Stella. There's a scene that I freaking love where this guy like gropes her at like wherever they were out, and she kind of lets him know what happened, but it was like, don't make a scene, like just whatever, it happens. And he's like, I won't make a scene, and then he gets this guy grabbed up, and he does some crazy shit to this guy. I mean, it's ruthless. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want your real boyfriend to do those kinds of things, but it's a book boyfriend. He is possessive, protective, and he's all in. Like, he is devoted to her. I just love their relationship, and he brings it in the bedroom. Who doesn't want a billionaire, amazing man that's going to take care of you and help you get your dreams like Christian? So I absolutely love this. It did have forced proximity because she does have to like stay with him in his place because of the stalker and everything. So I absolutely love Christian Harper. Okay, so bear with me on this next one. I know it's gonna seem weird and it's gonna seem crazy that I have this on my book boyfriend list, but I love this character so much. This is the bind up of all 3 books, but it is Catan from the Spider-Mate series. So in this you have Ensnarled, Enthralled, and Bound. This is the bind up of all 3. I loved this like cover and just how beautiful it is. Yes, he is a spider. He's a Vrix, and this is like a book that I looked at and said, how could I ever read a spider and a human romance? That's just weird. I don't think I could do it. I read it because Jenn at the Book Refuge always promoted this, and I was like, I'm gonna try it because she blows it up. So, and I'm so happy I did, because it became one of my favorite series I've ever read. It is so beautiful. The world building in this is insane. But Catan, while he is on my book boyfriends, he is so sensitive, cinnamon roll hero, but alpha. Like, he does everything for his woman. He's so devoted to her. You know, I don't know. He's just so special. And it doesn't hurt that he's got this magic alien spider dick that does special things, little vibrations and other things that go in to get the girl off even more extra special. And he is devoted to Ivy. He will protect her. He will do anything for her. He's just so sweet and caring, and they built in the first book, it's very slow because you have to build that like foundation to their relationship, but it really does build. So then in the next couple books, like, it all makes sense and works together because you really feel and believe in these two's connection. And Catan goes against his own like Vrix, like the Vrix. He has Vrix friends that end up helping him, but he's helping all these other humans that crash landed on that planet. And he's doing it all for Ivy. He wants everything with Ivy. He just totally takes care of her. It's just beautiful. He is so dreamy, and he's a spider. So I don't know. I don't know if I can talk you into this, but please, sorry if it's shining on this, but please try this series, because I didn't think I'd like it, and I fell in love. Tiffany Roberts is just such an amazing, writing duo. They're married, and they just wrote such an amazing series with amazing world building. Like, it's beautiful. So Catan, I know it's weird, but I love Catan, and he's a top book boyfriend for me. Okay, so I want to throw a historical romance, because I tend to read a lot of dark mafia or, you know, contemporary kind of stuff, but I still do love historical romances. So I do have one that I want to bring up, that I know is probably on a lot of people's lists and they love him, but that is Sebastian St. Vincent from Devil in Winter. I love this book so much, and I love this Wallflower series. I love it because he's this villain in the first couple books. He's an unredeemable rake. He's a bastard that you kind of are like, he literally like took the chick, like one of Evie's friends in the second book, I believe, and like was gonna make her marry him. So I mean, he was the full-on villain in the previous book. But Evie is actually in a really bad situation, and she proposes they get married because she knows he needs help with like his finances. Her father runs a gambling den, and he's dying, and she wants to be with him. But she has these horrible family members that are like trying to force her to marrying the cousin or whatever, and she's allowed to go see her dad. So she goes to St. Vincent in the middle of the night and offers, let's go run away, get married, and then that way you can get help with your finances, and I can get freedom from this family and go be with my father. Sebastian St. Vincent doesn't want to love. He doesn't think he's worth it. He's a pretty bad cad, and so you would think that wouldn't be somebody that'd be a book boyfriend. But the way he is with Evie, and then seeing him in later series and how he is with Evie, is just so beautiful. He loves her. He's devoted to Evie. He will do anything for her. He almost dies like protecting her, like getting shot and everything. And he ends up becoming a better man by their marriage. He starts taking over like the gambling den when her father dies and trying to run it better because people were kind of robbing from it and doing bad things while her father was sick. So he totally becomes like this amazing man. You see them throughout other series where he is just such a devoted husband and father. And I just love a rake that's redeemed, and he's just so sexy and dominant too. And so I love Sebastian St. Vincent. He's a top book boyfriend, especially from historical romances, because he is a darker hero for historical, which is what I usually am drawn to. So love him. Okay, so the next book that I have, I just read, and I'm so happy I read it before this video because it is definitely has one of the best heroes I've ever read, and that is Ryan Shea from The Right Move. Ryan Shea is amazing. He's definitely, like, he's rich, which you don't mind about that. He's sexy. He's a pro NBA player, and he is a cinnamon roll hero. Like, but he gets shit done. He's very beautiful, and he shows his love in his actions and like the little things he does for Indy every day. Like, even before he admits his feelings for her, he's doing little acts of love for her. And I just found the actions like just so beautiful. He is a pro NBA player, and he's kind of closed himself off from like connections with his teammates and refuses to date. He got screwed over pretty bad and lied and betrayed to when he was in college. And so he kind of just cut that part of himself off. And now Indy is living with him. She's the friend of his little sister. And so his little sister talks him into letting Indy live with him because she doesn't have anywhere to stay. She broke up with her boyfriend, her long-term boyfriend, because he was cheating on her. And so she's living with Ryan. He's not really happy about it. He makes it known he's not happy about it. But they basically agree to fake date because his general manager is like not really approving of him, thinking he's not really a team player, that he's a good player, but like he's not the long term, and he's supposed to be kind of like the team kind of captain and everything. He's taking over that role, and the guy's not really happy about it. So he wants to show him, because the guy's a big family man, that he's, you know, settled. He's got a girlfriend. He's a family kind of guy too. So he ends up fake dating Indy to show this. Indy has a wedding to go to of her friend, and all her friends still talk and hang out with her ex-boyfriend because they all grew up together. And she's being kind of pushed to forgive him and all that kind of stuff. So she wants a date. So this is a forced proximity, fake dating at its finest. And Ryan Shea is just so amazing. He does so many things for Indy, like little everyday things. He always makes sure to prepare her coffee when he's making his coffee before she gets up and put it in the fridge because she likes iced coffee. He's, you know, like bought her a bed because she didn't really have that great of a bed. He got her like something amazing. He'll like buy her a bookshelf to put all her smutty novels in. It's just these little things that he does that are just so beautiful. And she is super attracted to him. He's super attracted to her. So they finally get together, and it's super sexy. They did kind of have a third act breakup, and his way of like the big gesture and everything, he's just so beautiful. This man is devoted to his woman, and, you know, once he opens himself up and trusts again, it's just so beautiful. So I love Ryan Shea. If you haven't read this series yet, Mile High was also really good, so I recommend. Okay, so for the next one that I have, this is going to be no shock. I don't think I've talked about this in a couple of videos before, but this is a very hyped series, and I'm just going to show a couple of the books. I have the prequel up above, but this is an amazing series by one of the most amazing emotional type of writers, and that is Grip. This is such an amazing series. If you haven't read it yet, I definitely recommend it. This is Kennedy Ryan at her finest. Such a beautiful romance. It starts out with like a prequel novella, and then you go to Grip, and then you have Still, which this is so emotional. So I definitely recommend this. But Grip is a top book boyfriend. He is a African-American, a black, sexy rapper, and he's dedicated to Bristol. They have an interracial relationship. She's white, and so they do face a lot of adversities because of the way people judge them, the way his even like his family judges him for dating a white woman. And that's what I found really fascinating. It's such a great series to read, because it deals with such important issues and race and interracial couples and all that kind of stuff, and racism. So I just think it's such an important series to read. But Grip himself is one of the most dreamy men I've ever read. He kind of reminds me, like, I'm obsessed with Tupac, so like a current day Tupac, basically. So poetic and smart and intelligent and trying to do good things with, you know, him being a celebrity and being a famous rapper. And he has been in love with Bristol for years. They really go through it in Grip to try to be together. And that's a struggle. But once they're together, they're all in. And still is one of the most emotional books I've ever read. I mean, trigger warning for, you know, loss of child, and the way what they have to go through as a couple because of that, is just insane. And how supportive Grip is to her is just so beautiful. You know, people suffer separately, differently, going through a trauma, and so he's just trying to be all there for Bristol. They have the most beautiful romance. Grip is sexy as hell. He's alpha. He's dirty talker, but he's devoted as like he will do anything for Bristol, and he will burn the world down for her. He protects her. He loves her. I wish we could all have a Grip, but sexy. So I definitely recommend, please read that series if you haven't yet. It's a must. Okay, so now I have one of my favorite book boyfriends, and this is a little bit darker and a little bit different because it is a mafia hero. But I love Nino Falcone from Twisted Emotions. This is the Cora Chronicles. I'm sorry again if my reading likes hitting this book wrong. I wish they would all do it in matte. But this is one of the most emotional, beautiful mafia romances I've ever read. Now, Nino Falcone is mafia. He's part of the crazy Cora, you know, mafia, and his brother is Remo Falcone, who's pretty crazy and psycho too. But Nino basically shut off his emotions and feels like he's like a sociopath, kind of, where he can't, you know, feel those feelings. And so he shut off his emotions from something that happened to him and Remo when they were young with their mother's abuse. So he shut off all those feelings. And then Chiara comes into the picture. They have an arranged marriage to kind of bring them together with the Italian mafia, you know, which is Luca family and bound by blood. But Chiara has such a horrible story. She was brutally raped repeatedly by her uncle at a very young age. And so she's scared to death at this wedding that she's going to be killed because she is not a virgin, and they have to do the bloody sheets thing, and she's horrified. And she's got a lot of trauma and PTSD from being raped and her sexual assault. So just be aware of those triggers in here. It's very dark subject matter, but it is beautiful because Nino is so understanding and so giving. And when he can tell that she was previously assaulted by her reactions when they're about to have sex, and he finds out the truth, and he does one of the best things ever. I just love it. He literally gets the uncle, him and Remo kill him, and then they kill him on the sheets, and there's your bloody sheets. And he takes things so slow with her. He even tells her, look, we don't have to have sex. We're going to have a good marriage. We'll have a good thing. But if you're not comfortable having sex, I'll get it elsewhere. And, you know, just to be careful. And so she does want that. She doesn't want to have sex. So she agrees to that. But slowly she starts trusting Nino, and they build this beautiful relationship. And she doesn't want him out there having sex with other women. So they slowly get into it. And it's just so beautiful the way that Nino is so patient and works through her trauma and lets her have control in the bedroom so she'll feel empowered and not like have her previous trauma affect her. It is slow going in that way, but the patience and love that Nino builds, he freaks out because he starts to have emotions. He starts to feel things for the first time in his life, and he's so scared by it because Kiara means everything to him. And it's just such a beautiful romance. Like, he's just so dreamy. He's one of my favorite Cora Reily heroes of all time. He's always going to be on my list of book boyfriends because he's so caring, understanding, patient, but he's alpha as fuck as well, and a dominant badass mafia man. So definitely put him on the list. And he is also I believe in the Twisted Bonds book, which is also a continuation of their story, and so it's just so beautiful. I love revisiting that couple. They're one of my favorite couples. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this on the list because it's another mafia man. He's not the typical book boyfriend that people are going to pick that's so dreamy and stuff, because he's pretty alpha and crazy, but I just fell in love with him, and that is Max Butcher from Our Thing and Cosa Nostra. This is my first Nikki Harris I've ever read. This is a duet, and Max Butcher is badass. Like, he's ruthless. He's a mafia man. He gets his hands dirty. He definitely fucks shit up. And he falls for a ballerina who he didn't really know about her, but she had a crush on him forever. But like, once she gets in his sights, he zeroes in on her. He tries to stay away, but he can't. He's obsessed with her, constantly sneaking in her room, and they have crazy sex. He's really big and good in the bedroom. And so he just falls really hard. And Max Butcher is a grump. He's a stoic. He's very, like, man of few words. But the way he loves her and shows his devotion is through actions as well. Kind of, you know, like what I said previously with Ryan Shea. Max Butcher will burn the world for her. He's willing to make huge sacrifices to protect her. I cried multiple times in Cosa Nostra. Max Butcher, I mean, he's so, he's so amazing. I don't know why I fell for this hero so big time, but he is just so dreamy. I mean, he didn't tell her he loved her. He showed her he loved her. And like, there's a big thing that happens at near the end of the Cosa Nostra book where they're going to be separated, and he writes her this letter, and it just killed me with the way he told her he loved her. So I love Max. I can't wait to continue the series to see more of him. But I kind of had to put him on here just because he really moved me, and I wasn't expecting to love this character as much as I did. So the last book that I want to bring up, and this is also kind of weird, but that is The Bully by Sophie Lark. Most people would look at this and say, why would you pick him to be the book boyfriend? He's the villain. Again, like Sebastian St. Vincent, I loved a reformed villain. There is a reason why Dean is the way he is, and I love him. He's Russian. He's dominant. He's alpha AF, and he's one of my favorite Sophie Lark. This is one of my favorite books. It's 6 stars. One of my favorite books from last year, and I love Dean so much. He is been through so much in his life to make him who he is, but his relationship with Kat is just beautiful. Seeing like them in the epilogue of The Spy was beautiful to see how devoted he still is to her and loves her so much. Dean is a touch her and you die kind of hero. He's alpha, he's possessive, he's protective, but Kat's like perfect for him because she can handle all that. And I just love Dean so much. He's going to stay on my book boyfriends because I just have a soft spot in my heart for him. I even loved him when he was the villain in The Heir. I still loved him. And he's just so strong and alpha and supportive. And he's very smart. And him and Kat are just so cute. So I had to put him on here at the end here, but I love Dean and he is amazing. So those are my top book boyfriends. I probably went on a little too long. Hopefully this isn't too long of a video, but you know, I just couldn't narrow it down, so I had to do all 10 of these. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the other ladies' videos. They'll be linked down below. And thank you for watching as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.